Okay, guys, welcome back to the Crypto Wave. So, unless you have been sleeping under a rock for the last week, you probably, well, everybody always says that. Let me start that again. I don't care if you're sleeping under a rock, I'm just trying to be funny. So, listen, if you guys haven't been paying attention, there's this new stuff coming through, and I think honestly it's going to be a pretty big deal. Now, it's already getting a lot of hype. And in essence, what it is the Bitcoin oracles in BRC-20. If you haven't been paying attention, that's why I was kind of being funny. So it took many, many months for it to get to this point. And, over the last, I would say 3-4 months, I've heard little snippets about it. And there's been people who have been trying to what they call inscribe or mint things onto the Bitcoin blockchain. So at this point, the Bitcoin blockchain has been, in essence, a store of value, as well as a way to transfer value. There were some other protocols that tried to split off and do things, but this is the first one that's really kind of taking root. And I think the reason being is they're calling it the BRC-20. And as you can imagine, it's pretty similar to the ERC-20, like on Ethereum, which we know is related to smart contracts and tokenomics and stuff like that. Well, they ended up doing a split or an update, I should say, onto the Bitcoin blockchain. It's called Taproot. And what Taproot allows you to do is it allows you to start putting what they're calling BRC-20s onto it. Now, at the moment, BRC-20s, so there's two ways of looking at this. It's called BRC-20s, and it's through the Oracle, or the, here, actually, let's go over here real quick. Ordinal, sorry. So it's called the Ordinal. You can do ordinals or you can do inscriptions. So at the moment, where all of this hype is coming from, where all this BRC-20, and the reason it's getting so much hype is it's already broken $1 billion market cap. And, as of about 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago, it was maybe $1 million. And so what ended up happening is there's this Taproot, which is an upgrade, you could say, to the Bitcoin blockchain, is now allowing people to inscribe or to implant data onto the Bitcoin blockchain, overlaying the data of the Bitcoin transfer or transaction itself. And there's two ways they can do that. One of them is obviously, like I said, is called the ordinal. And the ordinals are actually, if we go over here, are actual kind of, I guess you can call them NFTs. It is images that you can now buy and sell on Bitcoin using Satoshis. And those of you who don't know Satoshi, so Bitcoin can get broken down into Satoshis. And I believe it's 1 million per, or it can get broken down into 1 million if I'm not mistaken. So it should have, let me look, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Well, either way, I'm not going to figure it out right now. But the Satoshis can get broken down. So in essence, when you're transferring a Bitcoin, that's why you can buy fractional Bitcoins. Instead of pennies, like you do with dollars, those types of things, you can actually break it down to Satoshis. Because not everybody can afford one, $27,000 Bitcoin. So what you can do actually is you can buy 0.1 or 0.01 or 0.001. And those are Satoshis as you're breaking that down. So it would break it down to, 100,000 Satoshis or 1 million Satoshis, that type of thing. So at any rate, I digress. So you can actually buy and sell using Bitcoin and overlaying on the Bitcoin blockchain these oracles. And the oracles are these images. But where the hype is coming, so there's quite a bit of volume here. You can see 7-day volume, 53 Bitcoin, 34 Bitcoin, 17 Bitcoin. There's some pretty good volume on these oracles, and I think these are going to be coming, for those who are like collectibles, some of these are the originals. Like this is going to be just like the, people who aren't familiar with the first NFTs posted on Ethereum, it was called the punks, I believe, or Ethereum punks or something like that. And that's why you're seeing these Bitcoin punks and things like that. Because those end up selling for, multiple Ethereum because it was the first one ever minted. At any rate, I digress. So what are we looking at, though? We are actually looking at BRC-20. So the BRC-20 is not these. So the BRC-20 is something that you can actually inscribe or, in essence, implant onto the transactions or onto the Satoshis. And at the moment, the only thing you can actually kind of do are written, I don't know how you want to call it. That's like text, basically. In that text, I'm trying to see if we can't just pull one up randomly here. Transaction, let's see. It's not showing. It is, but in essence, what it is you can actually attach text to the transactional Bitcoin onto the Satoshi. In fact, you can't see it right here. Actually, you can't see, but this tiny little screen here, these little tiny dots, you probably can't see it on yours, is the text on this particular link here, this Satoshi. So why is it blowing up so much? Well, one, they were clever and made it called BRC-20, but two, it is the beginning. So it's very similar to the way Ethereum initiated. So they were clever in calling it BRC-20, just like the ERC-20. Although ERC-20 is actually smart contracts. Now, Bitcoin is by no means, this BRC-20 is nowhere near what smart contracts are. So why is it going to be successful? Why are we following it? Well, for one, it's already hit 1 billion. It's catching on, which shows that there's a great demand. Now, granted, people are going to be chasing it for the money aspect. They want to flip their, they want to invest money and pull out more money. But there's also those that are seeing that this is the beginning of something great. It's going to need some work. So it is using Bitcoin blockchain. And those of you who are familiar with other blockchains, Bitcoin is incredibly slow. It can also only have, I believe, 8 megabits per block, if I'm not mistaken. So when these started launching, it actually bogged down the Bitcoin blockchain so significantly that they couldn't even, in essence, they had to shut down the blockchain for a bit. The miners, in essence, stopped processing through so they could figure out what was going on. And then it took about a day for them to clear out all the meme pool because there's just so much data coming through it. So, but I do believe it is the beginning. And so there are a ton of BRC-20 tokens coming out. And I just want to do a quick breakdown on this to kind of explain how can you get involved. And to be honest with you, I think this is going to have a huge impact on the crypto space this year, including this summer, and then going forward. There's already talks of some companies that are going to be creating exchanges, decentralized exchanges, specifically for the BRC-20s. And there's going to be a lot more use cases. At this point, a lot of the utility is kind of theoretical because it's just coming. I mean, this is brand new. We're kind of, people always ask, can you get in early? Like, this is early on this. So how the heck do you do it? What do you do? So first and foremost, you are going to need a wallet that is compatible or can accept Taproot. And there's a couple of different ones. Now, I personally, although there's a couple hiccups and glitches, and as you can see here on this homepage, it does say it's the beta. And this is Unisat, unisat.io. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. You can come in here and you can download it from the Chrome store. And it'll link up to your Chrome just like it would your MetaMask. And then you have a Unisat wallet. Now, there are other ones. One of them is called Xverse. Xverse is good. The only reason I don't like it, and actually I'll show you. So this is the Xverse wallet. Mine is currently empty. But the reason I don't like it is because in order to use a traditional Bitcoin wallet, if you were to want to receive these ordinals, so if you look here, you actually have a separate ordinal wallet address as opposed to your Bitcoin address. So it's two separate things. So if you were to purchase something on Unisat or one of these other exchanges and when it's sent to your Bitcoin wallet, I feel like this is just, especially for new people, this is going to cause issues. Because if you end up putting your Bitcoin address into the receiving address section of Unisat, then you're not going to get it. It's going to screw it up because you need to go to the ordinals address. So I feel like that's a little bit of a hiccup. Although this is an effective wallet, people who are just coming into this, I think you want simplicity, even though a bit glitchy. And that one is what we're looking for, is this Unisat wallet. And so, in fact, if you look here, so these are those BRC-20s I was telling you about. You're literally buying a image of a text of a particular token or BRC token, basically. And this is what it looks like. So again, this doesn't look like much of anything, but this is inscribed onto the Bitcoin blockchain, which again is, I can't begin to tell you how huge that is for the Bitcoin network. Now, what you do, so this is actually will lead me to my thing. So the Unisat actually has a wallet. If you come to the unisat.io, download Chrome, put it up here. It's just like any other wallet. Once you get the address, it's going to ask you to save your key phrases. Make sure you copy that. Make sure you save it. Make sure you put it into some sort of a safe, because if you lose that key phrase, you are out of luck. When you create the wallet, it will give you options. It's going to say Sedgwick, it's going to say Legacy, it's going to say Taproot, and then I think one other one, I can't remember. You are going to want to create your wallet with the Taproot option. And the reason I like that one is because now this address that you get not only can receive Bitcoin, but also is the only address you'll need to receive the ordinals or the BRC-20. So it makes it very, very easy, single address. Now, once you download that, you do need to fund it. The best thing you do, because this wallet is specific to Taproot, not all exchanges I've noticed has been able to send to it. So you do send Bitcoin, just like you would have sent Ethereum from an exchange to an Ethereum address, or whatever the case is. It's the same concept. You need to have Bitcoin somewhere and send it to a Bitcoin address that you have in your Unisat wallet. Because this is Taproot, the only one that I personally use that based out of the US. I tried using Coinbase. It does not recognize these Taproot addresses yet, but the Binance.us does recognize Taproot addresses, and so you can send your Bitcoin to your address here in your Unisat wallet, and it will receive it, and you'll have that Bitcoin to start purchasing things. Now, once you have that, boom, you got it. Make sure you transfer some funds into there. It gets a little tricky because it doesn't have dollar value in here yet, like they do with MetaMask. So just keep an eye on your Satoshis here. Obviously, one would be 1 Bitcoin, and then it breaks down from there. But just keep an eye because a lot of this is going to be based on Satoshis as opposed to dollar amounts, although you can figure out that exchange rate. So now, once you have that, fund it. Now you have some funds in here. Come back to your unisat.io. Now, there's a couple different places that can do this. This is the biggest one at the moment. However, you can come over here to... Nope, that's the order book. You can come to Ordinals Wallet, or I believe it is BRC-20.io, if I remember right. Let me look. Yeah. So you can come over here to BRC-20. This will give you market caps and things of that nature. And they actually have a market over here as well. I feel like this is just a little more cumbersome, to be honest with you. I just don't like the flow of it and the look of it. That's just me. And then you have the... where is it? Where is it? Up here, inscribe. Nope, BRC-20. Let's get back over here. There was a way to... I'll find it. But anyway, so there's quite a few that you can do. But at the moment, the main one, until things start getting a little more up to date, which is coming. There's already people, like I said, coming up with some decentralized exchanges. And there's also already some centralized exchanges creating liquidity pools, which I'll tell you why that's important for some of these. So in the meantime, just come to unisat.io, unisat.io. Come over here to... Now, you've already funded it. There'll be a button up here on the upper right that says connect. Once you connect, come over here to BRC-20. It takes you to the all page initially. Everything's 100% here. So anything that's 100%, you can get onto the market. And it's going to tell you how many transactions as well as holders for those particular things. So if there's one that's already existing that you want to work on, you can go here. Otherwise, you can go over here to the in progress. And these are the ones that are in essence in their buying phase. So the way this works is these have to get to 100% in order to be fully what we call minted, meaning all of them have been distributed, and then you can start freely trading it on the marketplace. So all the new up and coming ones, if you, for instance, if you're on Twitter or Instagram or something like that and you hear about Lite, BRC-20 Lite, Lite, no idea what it is, but let's say you research it, you like it, and you want to get in and you want to buy it. So you come in here, BRC-20, come to in progress, come down to Lite, you see that it has not finished minting, so there is room. So you click on it, and it's going to say just right here, mint directly. And this is in essence is putting you into this pool, so you're going to start building your spot based on what's left. This is 31% full, so there's plenty of room. So you would hit mint directly. Now all of these, when they are created, have a mint option. So this is in essence giving you the coins if you pay. Deploys if you want to create your own coin. The ticker is light. You want to make sure that's accurate. The amount is 1,000. So you will get right here this repeat mint. So you're going to get 1 mint of 1,000 of these light tokens. So if you were to hit next, it would charge you or tell you how much it's going to cost for 1,000 of these light tokens. Now, they have something called, you can do anything between 1 and whatever they set their parameters. So in this particular case, you can do up to 100 mints of 1,000. So just keep that in mind. It's obviously going to exponentially increase the amount that you're going to be getting, but it's going to increase the amount that you owe as well. This is considered a max mint wallet if you were to do that. But in essence, we're going to click through it. So if you do 1, you would hit next. It's going to say this is basically what it looks like. This is the text that you are going to get that's inscribed. That's going to come to your wallet and that you're going to own. Now, the interesting thing that I like about Unisat also is, for instance, you see this one. If you go back here, let's put this up to like 19. If you hit next, boom. Well, here's all of your 19 that you're going to get. So what you would do is you would then say, hey, yeah, I do want these. Go ahead and hit next. Brings you down to the bottom. It's going to tell you, just like MetaMask, it's going to say, as opposed to gas like you use on Ethereum or the BNB token, it's going to say how many Satoshis per is it going to cost you. Economy, normal, or custom. Custom is if you want to jack it up so it gets prioritized on the Bitcoin blockchain. And this is going to tell you exactly how much everything is going to cost. So it's basically telling you, you are going to get all of these. Please make sure you put your address here. Now, if you use Unisat and you're connected, it will default your address here, but just always, always, always double check it that this address is your address so that when you mint it, it comes to you. Click how much speed you want to do. It's going to give you a rundown of everything that's going to cost. So here's the service fee is $10. Fee by size, it's because you're minting so many. This will actually change if you did less, if you had only one of these. And then it's going to tell you your total Satoshis and then what's going to be charged to you. So this entire transaction would be, 228,000 Satoshis, or approximately $62.77. If you wanted to do this, once it's all set up, you hit pay. When you hit pay, the Unisat wallet pops up. You would then hit agree, and it would take that value from your Bitcoin, just like you would on your MetaMask and such. And then you wait, because again, Bitcoin is very, very slow. So you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And then, in order to determine, so you can always look at your wallet. So for instance, if you come over here to, where is it? Not, where are you? Is it this one? No. Nope, not that guy either. Oh, here we go, Coax. So coaxprotocol.io. So you can actually come over here and plug in any address, any Bitcoin address you want that does it. And when you hit enter, it'll tell you what you're holding. Now, in regards to Unisat, if you don't want to go that route, you will see it if you come over to the marketplace, click on my inscriptions. When you down click it, it's going to tell you, it'll populate over here if you have those values. Now, if they're not available yet, it'll have a little icon that says, it'll have like a little question mark and it'll say, waiting confirmation or pending confirmation, those kinds of things. But once it arrives, you will have it available in here. But a lot of times you're not going to be able to do much with it until the one that you purchased has completely filled. Once it's filled, now you will be able to inscribe it. So at this point you're owning it, but you actually, if you want to sell it, what you have to do is you actually have to do an inscription or you have to list it. So for instance, this one here, you can see that I have transferable, which in essence means I can sell it, or available. So this is sitting in my wallet but not able to be sold. This is been inscribed, still within my wallet, I still own it, but it's able to be sold. So for instance, if you come to this particular ticker, 40,000, if you hit list, meaning I want to sell it, so you're going to see, here are the ones that I've inscribed. Now keep this in mind, if you look, I had 760,000 here, plus these 40,000, so I had 800,000 of this Deegan token initially. Well, what ends up happening is when you inscribe it, even though I purchased these in chunks of, I don't remember, I think it was like 40,000 each or whatever. So just like that light one that we looked at, it said it was 1,000 per purchase. So if you only did one, you would have 1,000 here. However, when you went into list, you don't have to list 1,000. It would be completely blank. For instance, do I have one that's blank? This one. It would be blank like this. You could hit inscribe and transfer. It's going to tell you you have 1,260 of the Kula, C-U-L-A. Now, I don't have to inscribe all 12,600. This is the point where you can break it up. However, you have to pay for each inscription. So for instance, if I only wanted to sell 1,000 of these at an average speed, when I hit next, it's going to say, okay, it's going to cost you this much to inscribe these 1,000 tickers to put onto the market. So keep that in mind when you're listing, because it does cost money to list it each time you break it up, which is why sometimes when you're in the marketplace, if you go to something that has a very high market cap, such as I think We does, you have these ones that some people are posting for 24,000 tokens at 107 Satoshis. So that's a $700 purchase, which is beneficial if somebody has $700. But what if you don't have that? What if you only have $100? Well, some other people will break it down. So this one, there's only 4,000 of these We tokens. Unfortunately, it's at 120 Satoshis as opposed to 107, but it's only going to cost you $132. So it is a smaller piece. And that can get broken down even further and further and further. For instance, Ordi, which is the original ordinal, so ordinal wallet, if you guys haven't caught on. This is the Ordi, which is the original BRC-20 when it got launched. It's now $17 per Satoshi. And so this person's selling 100, that puts you up to 1,700. And this could be broken down. If you were to buy this one and then inscribe it and try and sell it, you can go all the way down to 1 if you want to, such as... was it this one, I think? No. There's one, maybe it's Oshi. Yeah, look at this. So this one's already been broken down. In fact, if we go over here, I'm just going to, let's go here. Oshi, Oshi, Oshi. Oh, so it actually was a mint limit of 1. So people were having to buy these one at a time too, actually. So that's interesting. So people were buying them one at a time, which make it a whole lot easier. But at any rate, the whole point is that as the value goes up, if you don't want to sell your entire 1,000 or whatever it is, you can break it down into smaller increments here. So, once you do that, so you hit list, you put in the values you want. You can do it as many times as you want. You have to wait here, and it's going to say confirmation 0 of 3. And once it gets 3 of 3 confirmations, you will then be able to list these particular tokens. So it would look just like this. You would then click on it. Well, what I would do, to be honest with you, if we're going to do it, let's pull up this particular token I own. You come in here, so people are already listing this particular token. You want to see what it's going for. So at the moment, this is in essence your order book. And this order book has it at 1 Satoshi per, so 250,000 Deegan for 1 Satoshi per, puts it at $68 there. All the way up here, somebody put 10,000 Satoshis at 10,000 Deegan at 10 Satoshis each, which is $27.53. So you want to be in here that's going to be reasonable. And this going back to my original point, which is why I think come the summer when they start doing these exchanges are actually going to create liquidity pools. One of the hard things about this is the liquidity is really tough. You're literally posting a chunk of something and waiting for somebody to come by and click it and say that they want it. So you do have these kind of peaks and troughs in regards to values and such. Let's go over here real quick. Is it this one? No. Yeah, it's this one. Let's look at this. Nope. It's not this one. It is this one? It's this one. Sorry. So this is ordspy.com, so ordinalspy.com. I like this one because this starts telling you graphs and things like that. So you're starting to get these tools built to see things. So for instance, that Oshi, here's that Oshi we were just looking at. And here's the graph since it's been launched. So it had its peak come down, and now it's kind of hovering. But if you look here, last one 5 hours ago, 7 hours ago, 7 hours ago. Because again, one, there's a barrier to entry. These, a lot of people don't want to take the time to get a Unistat wallet. They don't want to go through all these steps. They're looking for, can I just get onto an exchange like I do, like I know, I create a username and then I can just buy these. Well, that's coming. And not only is it coming, it's coming centralized as well as decentralized. So there is a website, it's called OKX, I believe. OKX, which is it's a fairly decently large exchange that you can sign up for. And they are already putting in, I think it's OKX, but anyways, they're already putting in liquidity pools for the BRC-20, including Binance just relaunched saying that they are going to start creating some liquidity pools for these BRC-20s. So that's real big news. Again, I think we're very early, but there's a barrier to entry. So with that being said, once you've listed, so let's say we listed something, we posted in here, we wanted to sell this 250,000. We want to sell it for 1 Satoshi each. We're asking for $62.82. Somebody comes in here and says, I think that's reasonable. Boom, they click buy. When they click buy, it's going to say, here's what you're buying. Here's what it costs. Do you want to purchase this? This is blank at the moment, probably because I don't have enough. So the total is 276 in my wallet. I don't think it has that much in there. Yeah, I got 275. So it's grayed out because it knows you don't have it. But if you had the availability, you would hit confirm. Once again, your wallet would pop up and say, hey, did you want to spend this money? Boom, you hit yes. You wait, and once it processes, it then takes this amount and this offer out. It gives you this value of Deegan into your wallet, again, because you have a Taproot wallet, so it'll come here. And then this value goes to the person who posted it. So it goes directly into their wallet. Now, I've already bought and sold things, so I can tell you it just automatically shows up. And in reality, when you're in here, so for instance, if you list something, let's just click on this one here, and we'll just ask for 5, we'll say. So if you try to list this, it's going to tell you what you're going to get. So this is what it costs to list it. So it's going to cost 0.000000546, which is pretty universal for all of them. And if it were to process, I'm going to get 0.001. So that would come to my wallet should, and you can see here sign, just like I said, it pops up just like MetaMask. But that will go into my wallet once it has been processed. So we're going to reject that though. And that, my friends, is about as much as I can give you at the moment because I keep rambling on. I do want to go into it a little bit more because, there are ways to transfer once you own these. So once you have them in your wallet, there are ways for you to get into your BRC-20s. And you can actually transfer them and such, but we'll do that at a different time. I just wanted to show people how to get in and start trying to purchase these things. Now, one last thing before I go, I'm glad you waited to the end. These BRC-20s, all these in progress, so there is so many of them. All I can do is just do your research. Do your research. Anybody, I can, at this moment right now, come in here and deploy, that's it has to be over here. Anybody can come in here and do a deploy and make up your own thing. Anybody, as long as you pay. Now, once it's deployed, it's not like you get a huge percentage. It's only if people are going to be buying it, selling it, and you deploy it and mint your own, so you hold the vast majority, which we have seen already. There's already been some on here that people created, deployed it. It doesn't have a hype. They accumulated 40, 50, 60% of their own token they produced. Then they try and get hype around it. It mints entirely. They start posting it, and anyway, you see where that can go. All I'm going to say is that these are a dime a dozen. So do not just click on any one of these to jump into it. Just make sure you please do your research. With that being said, there are some already that are trying to do major things. Ordi is doing huge things. This is actually the people who created this entire thing. This is the ordinal token. OSPY, in essence, like I said, that's what this is. The OSPY is what we're looking at right now. It's in essence going to be the DEX tools, or at least it seems like that's what they're shooting for, the DEX tools of the BRC-20. VMPX is a vampire coin. It's a well-known founder, developer on the Ethereum and Binance chain. And he's been tweeting like crazy that he's got big utility coming for this. Once it hits 10,000 holders, he's going to announce what that is. It's currently at 7,700. Zbit, also a pretty big one. I was listening to a Twitter feed on them. They have games, and they have all kinds of stuff set up for this. This is actually part of a website called BTC Machine. But anyways, this is going to be big. Oshi, I can't remember. I think it's going to be a protocol or an exchange protocol, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so some of these do have really good utility, and then some of them are just trying to capitalize and take your money. So just do me a favor, just be very vigilant. Just do your research before you go into it. So, okay, guys, I hope this helps. end it there. I can't think of anything else. We can dig into more later. If you guys have questions, please feel free to drop it down. Keep in mind this is new, so I'll answer what I can, but I'm also learning as we go. I've literally started doing this week as it's been getting more and more hype to it, and I've been trying to basically go down the rabbit hole to learn all about it. So okay guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, drop me any comments or questions, and have a great night.